welcome to Sarah's Stamping Retreat. Today I'm going to be showing you some fun ways to stretch your supplies. So we're going to be using this framed congrats die from Altenew, and we're going to use this in 5 different ways on our cards. So for my first card, I've got a really nice super simple card for you. So a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch card blank, and I'm going to cover that in double-sided adhesive. And then I've cut the congrats die once out of gold cardstock, once out of a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch piece of pink cardstock, and once out of this kind of mintish cardstock. So I'm going to take the backing off this. Then I'm going to add the pink piece to my card front. Then I'm going to insert the gold piece. And this is quite delicate, so I'm just going to kind of carefully put this in around here. And then I'm going to fill the gaps with this kind of minty cardstock. And then I'm also just going to lay this over here and pop out the pieces from the G so that they stick in there as well, just to finish that off nicely. So then I've also cut this zero waste 3D floral cover die in this yellow cardstock, and just thought it'd be quite cute to create a little flower to go on the side here. So I'm just going to layer these 2 pieces, and then I'm going to glue this gold dome in the middle. So this is just from this Vanilla Kiss mix from Little Things by Lucy's Cards. And then I'm going to leave that like that, really clean and simple. So then for this next card, I've got another really simple look for you using pattern paper. I'm using this gorgeous pattern paper that is the Peruvian market paper from Catherine Paula. And this is going to be another really simple card, but stick around because I'll be showing you some different ways to use this that aren't so simple after this card. So I'm going to add this piece here. So again, I'm using a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch card blank, and I've cut this out of grey cardstock, so I'm going to use both the pieces of grey for this. So first I'm going to pop this in place, and then I can stick my congrats down. And I'm just using a teeny tiny bit of glue on this because you don't want it too sticky. So I'm going to use this as a guide to stick down the congrats. So then I'm going to add some fine pads around the outside of the frame. Obviously foam tape would be quicker, I just don't have any to hand just now. So then I cut that no waste floral cover die from gold as well, and I'm going to use this gold flower in the same way as I used the one on the last card. Pop this one together with foam pads. And this gold cardstock from Spellbind is really nice because it's double-sided, so it's really nice for making flowers when you want to blend up the petals and you can't see that white the other side, or even worse when it's brown. And then I think I might put one of these clear gems from the Fresh Mint collection from Lucy's Cards in the middle. Then you've got this really cute. Then I felt like I couldn't not make a shaker card with this, so I'm going to cut a piece of acetate down that's going to be slightly bigger than my die. And that does mean that there's going to be some overhang, but because it's clear then I'm really not too worried about that. I'm just going to round off the corners because I think that will just help it fit in a little bit better. So then what I've done here is I have cut out the congrats die 6 times and glued them together to create this really dimensional shape. And on the 2 end ones I've put on some double-sided sticky so that I can use that for my shaker. So I'm going to glue this onto my card front, just with that double-sided adhesive. Then I'm going to use this Harmony Crystal collection, again from Little Things by Lucy's Cards, just to add some shaker bits into there. Then I'm going to take the top layer of this off, and then I'm going to add this piece on, and then I'm going to add this spare one over the top, just to make a nice crisp finish. Then you've got that nice little shaker. So then for this next card, I've got a double inlay technique for you. So I've cut the Zero Waste 3D floral cover die from 4 different colours. So I've got this yellow colour that I'm adding on now. So I'm going to add this double-sided tape to this card blank. Then I'm going to add the yellow Zero Waste cover die on here. And then I've also got this cut in gold. So I'm just going to lay this over here for the pieces that are still stuck in the die. And I can just push through these pieces that are still stuck in the die, and then I'll add in the other ones afterwards. And then I can add in the other pieces that already came off that I've got left in the box. Then I'm going to come in with the pink one. I'm going to add all the flowers from this one. So then I'm going to add on the leaves from this kind of minty colour. And then I'm just going to add some centres to these flowers with the remains of the yellow piece. Then I was going to do a double inlay in this, but I attached it to the front of the card, which I hadn't originally intended to. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to put my congrats onto some vellum. I'm going to do that instead. Vellum's really useful when you've got quite a busy background and you want something to stand out, because this is quite a fine sentiment. If you put it straight on that busy background, you wouldn't really see it. So by putting it onto vellum, you kind of tone down the background, and therefore you're left with just like a really nice sentiment that stands out. So I'm just going to round off those corners a little. So then obviously I want this to stick down without being able to see the adhesive on the back. So I'm going to use some of this double-sided adhesive sheet, and it's the type where it's kind of like a sheet of glue rather than some of them are a kind of proper sheet with adhesive either side. This is kind of just like a sheet with glue on it. And so you can see you just get a fine film of glue rather than the ones that are like a proper sticky sheet, and it means that you can't see it through the front. So then I'm just going to stick that onto my card. Then there's that card done, and you can see how the vellum just kind of pushes those flowers into the background so that the congrats can stand out. And then for my final card, I've got an A6 grey card blank. So that measures 4 1/8 by 5 7/8 inches, and I've got a piece of grey cardstock the same size, and I'm going to cut that congrats out the middle of there. So then I've got the aperture, and I'm going to stick along the back some coloured strips. So they're just little scrap strips of the colours that we've been using today. So I'm going to add some glue around here, and then I'm going to add some strips across. Then we've got this nice stripy background made of the scraps. And then I'm going to glue on the congrats. So then I'm going to add that to my card front. And then I've got some more of these flowers left, so I'm going to add those on as well. And these ones I've layered up with foam pads as well to give them more dimension. So then there's that final card finished. So then there are all 5 of today's cards. I really hope you like them. Please do let me know which is your favourite in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate you clicking like below, and you can also press subscribe if you'd like to see future videos. If you press the bell button and select all, then YouTube will also notify you when I've got a new video available. All of the products that I've used for today's cards are listed in the description below, and you can also find a link there to my blog where you can find a picture supply list if that helps you find what you're looking for. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see you again soon.